Hi, my friends. Welcome, sweet ones. Hello, hello. Hola, Alejandra. ¿Cómo está? Hello, sweet Rita. Hello. Hi, friends. Welcome. Bonjour. I love it. I did a class. Oh, this sounds weird in my ears. Maybe that's better. So did a class. Hi, Rita. Hello, sweet Donna. Hi, my friends. How cool. So I did a class this week on Zoom for people in Paris, and it was translated in Italian. We're going to have our class in Paris translated in Italian, in Spanish, and French, possibly even German. Aubrey says, miss you. I know. Well, you got to come play somewhere. Hi, sweet Elam. Yay. Hello, Suzanne. Hello from Rabat. I don't know where Rabat is, but sounds awesome. Hi, sweet Suzanne. Awesome. Hello. Yeah, baby. All right, my friends, we're talking about change. It's been a while since I've done a Facebook Live. You know, I love Facebook Lives. I love just coming on and having a conversation about possibilities. And one of sort of my favorite topics to talk about is change. And Morocco. Ooh, I like it. I know some people from Morocco. Oh, I love the colors there. So I love talking about change. And one of the things that I realized recently in my life is that there are areas of my life where I'm willing to get really specific. And then there's areas of my life where I'm like, oh, well, if I get too specific, then I might miss out. So today we're going to talk about, do you know what kind of future you want to create? Do you know what to ask for? Do you know what you want? So if I were to ask you right now, or if I was a genie in a bottle and I came into your life or into your house or into your work or into your like beach chair in Morocco, wherever you are, and I asked you, what do you want? Would you know how to answer that question? Hi, sweet Tanya. You know what? I drove by your bakery today. I almost stopped in. I'm doing a foundation next week here in my house. So, and we're going to talk about that. But first of all, I want to talk about, if I were to ask you today, right, Wendy says no. How many of you don't actually know what you want? You do know what you don't want. You don't want to be broken on the streets. You don't want a bad relationship. You don't want a broken down car. You know what you don't want, but do you actually know what you want? And so we're going to talk using the tools of Access Consciousness, my favorite tools on the planet, because 6 years ago, I was broke. I was working my ass off. I was living paycheck to paycheck. So even though I was making more money than I'd made in a while, I still felt broke, right? And I knew this energy was possible of like living life as an adventure, waking up every day and being happy, waking up every day and like, yes, life is amazing. And I would kind of half-ass do that. So I'd wake up, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to put on my happy face. I've got to go to work. And at the time I was a hairdresser and I was cutting and coloring hair probably 10 hours a day. And I got to tell you, at the end of the day, I was exhausted. Cool. So Martina says, I know partly what I want, but the full picture. So we're going to talk about that. So 6 years ago, I'm sitting there cutting hair, knowing that life was good, but knowing it could be so amazing. And I remember sitting there having the privilege of cutting people's hair who were doing amazing things all over the world, traveling over the world, like first class plane tickets to Europe. Like I was like, how does one do that? I couldn't even afford to like pay my bills on time. So what happened for me was this energy opened my hair. It's up. Nope. Sorry. So maybe you're trying to say something else. But so when I was a hairdresser, I was like this, I wanted a greater life. I thought I had a great life, but I knew that there was something missing. And I found the tools of access. And actually, I went to a foundation class. And in that foundation class, I think I remember hearing 5% of the class. I think I remember hearing 5% of the tools, but I took the manual and I walked away, and I would at night kind of like once in a great while open the pages of the book and go, wow, this is the information that I have been missing my whole life. So I was always seeking. I was seeking in shamanic circles. I was seeking in spiritual communities. I was seeking in meditation. I was seeking for, quote unquote, the answer for me. And when I found foundation, it was like the heavens opened up to deliver the information that I felt like I had been missing, yet knew. And here in front of me was this manual where someone was putting words to what's actually possible on the planet, what's actually possible for my life, what's actually possible to move forward. And so with this concept of what do you want, I little by little started to discover what it is that I wanted. But I was really tentative and really timid to say the full picture. And so I've been, using the tools of Access Consciousness, traveling around the world, facilitating the tools. And Gary and Dane, who are the founder and co-founder of Access Consciousness, they're always asking me, Katherine, what do you want? And my response is always everything. And both of them at different points have said something to the lines of, well, that's a great way to not get what you want, right? When you say everything, that's a great way to not be specific. And so if you're here and you're watching, and I'm really glad you're here, and you want to create a bigger life, create more joy, more space, more possibilities, what is it that you really want? Do you know the answer? Okay, you don't need to know the answer, but you have to be willing to discover what it is you want. So, what if getting what you want was as easy as knowing what you want? I'm going to say that again, right? What if getting what you want was as easy as knowing what you want? But here's the thing that we do. We're like, well, I don't know what I want. So you go window shopping in this reality for your life. And you go on a bad date and you go, oh, I don't want that. Or you drive a car and you're like, don't really want that. Right? And so we do these experiments where we literally will try to discover what we want by figuring out what we don't want. Cool. Henry says, I want to be a billionaire. Great. Do you know what's required to get you there? And are you willing to do whatever it takes to get you there? Right? Right. And Elam says, as easy or as difficult. So life can be as easy or as challenging as we make it. I love it. So Ashley says, so I just did a foundation in Alberta, Canada, in the middle of nowhere. It was a total blast. We had an amazing time. And Ashley was there and she said, foundation was a complete game changer. And then I took the foundation with Katherine. So, these tools are really amazing. And I love facilitating these tools. And here's how it works. So, are you willing to start to figure out what it is you want, not by what you don't want? Yeah. Okay. So Henry says, yeah, I want to get there, dear. I totally believe you want to get there. Now it's a matter of, okay, so are you willing to start with $1 million? Are you willing to start with 5 million? Are you willing to start with $100 to get you to $1 billion? Right? Most people are not willing because they'll skip the stuff that they don't want to do, right? Which is kind of crazy. So, and I've been facilitating all day. Wow. Yeah, it's as easy or as difficult I might need you to say more, Elam, because I might be a little confused on what you're trying to say. So when you guys start to get what you want, so like let's take Henry's example for a second. He says, I want to be a billionaire. And yes, I want to get there. I totally believe it. So do you believe, Henry, that no matter what, no matter who, no matter how, right, you can do it? Do you believe it? Right? And then, are you willing to do whatever it takes to get there? So here's the thing. If you are right now in a place where, let's say you're making $1 million, and all of a sudden you start making $1 billion, do the people that you start hanging out with, does it need to change? Is it going to be different? Right? So most of us will say we want something, but we won't do what it takes to get there. Right? And yeah, we won't do what it takes to get there. So let me talk a little bit. So what if getting what you want is as easy as knowing what you want? And then I think that makes your question a little bit easier. And Elam says, as easy or as difficult than knowing, right? So are you guys willing to make knowing what you want easy? Or are you making it hard to know what you want? Does that make sense? So are you making knowing what you want easy? Or are you making knowing what you want hard on you? Aha! So Elam says it's not that easy for me to really define what I want. Okay, cool. So this is the piece that I kind of want to dive into. And I'm not really sure how we're going to do it, but I'm going to try. And you guys will either stay with me or you won't. And if you like this conversation and you want to share it and you want other people to join the conversation, I will go for as long as we go. And we're going to talk about being specific, getting clear, actually being willing to define what you want. So many of us are afraid to define it, to really look at what we want. And so Gary Douglas in the Advanced Money Workbook, right, founder of Access, he wrote this book called the Advanced Money Workbook. And in the Advanced Money Workbook, he says, if you want to find fame and fortune, you have to be willing to seek it. Okay? If you want to find fame and fortune, you have to be willing to seek it. So most of us aren't willing to admit that we're seeking fame and fortune. Now, does that mean famous on TV? No, not necessarily. Fame and fortune can be whatever it is to you. And so if it's not easy for you to define what you want, start with a list of what you don't want. So you don't want to work a 9-to-5 job. You don't want to live the rest of your life in corporate. Right? You know that you don't want to not have the ability to travel, right? So you can start with your list of what you don't want, but what you want to start doing is actually making a list of what you do want and start to define it. Now, we talk in Access about being undefined, and this is the example I can give you. It's much easier to deliver to you something when you're specific in your ask. Okay? So let me give you an example, right? So when you're specific, so let's say you're going on a first date. Let's just say that. Okay? And you go on this first date and the person you're going on a date with, hi Jeff, goes, well, what do you like to do? And you're like, I don't care. Well, do you have a preference of where you want to eat? Not really. Well, do you like to go on walks? It depends. Do you see how hard it would be for your person taking you out on a first date to deliver anything? So then they have to totally guess. And they're like, okay, well, maybe we'll go on a roller coaster ride. I don't know about you, but I guess it depends on the date. So you guys have to be willing to start to be specific with your asks of the universe. So, do you want a boat? Do you want a car? Do you want a fancy car that drives really fast that turns your body on? Do you want a house, or would you prefer to live month to month in rentals? Like, those are things that begin to be specific. Do you want to travel every month? Do you want to fly economy or first class, right? Do you want a body that is tired? Or do you want I'm not bringing anybody on live, Sadar, so if you have a question you want to ask, you're welcome to type it in the chat. I'm welcome to contribute to you. So you guys are welcome to ask questions, but I don't bring on anybody live in this 10 seconds. So start to get really specific about what it is that you want, right? And see what that creates for your reality. Okay? Can you guys see the difference? So if this first date calls and says, hey, Katherine, we're going on a first date. Where do you want to eat? And I'm like, oh my God, I love sushi. I love seafood. But really, I can eat almost anything. Just don't take me somewhere where I have to eat raw squid. That's kind of specific, right? Is it easier for the person taking me on a date to then have sort of an idea of what it is they can deliver? Does that make any sense? Okay. So is it true, Elam, that you don't know how to be specific or you don't know how to define it? Or is that you're afraid to define it because you think you'll miss out on something? Yeah, baby. So, yeah, I've got another question for you guys. So, how many of you are afraid to ask what you want because you're always changing your mind? How many of you are afraid to ask for what you want because you're always changing your mind and you're afraid you'll get it wrong? So what if you can't get it wrong? Right? Right. Elam says, no, it's a lie. Okay, cool, Elam. So instead of saying to yourself, I have a hard time defining what I want, what if you were to say, wow, today, in these 10 seconds, I'm going to start writing down what I want. I'm going to start getting clear with the universe. Okay, I want a job that pays me $100,000 a year where I'm the boss and I travel around the world. That's specific. Right. Martina says, guilty. I'm like that a lot, not being specific. Well, my friends, be specific. And if tomorrow you change your mind, change your ask. Okay, I'm going to say that. Be specific. And if tomorrow you change your mind, change your ask. But the reality is that most of you don't really change your ask that much. Okay, so be specific, and if tomorrow you change your mind, change your ask. Pretty simple, right? If only it was as simple as changing our ask every day, right? Cool. So, wow, Elam says, yes, that's it. Writing it, I have a hard time to do it. Well, is that yours? Does having a hard time doing it belong to you, or is that something you learned from somebody else? Yeah. So you guys notice when anyone's asking a question, what do? I ask a question back, right? Ask a question back. So questions are the foundation. And most of you know the tools of Access Consciousness. Most of you have either done a foundation or have heard a foundation. And I got to say, I did this foundation, 3 weeks ago now in Canada. And I still am very different from that class. Is it asking for my body? That's a great question, Jeff. Well, if you were willing to ask your body to ask for you, would that create greater? Yeah, right. Elam says, I get not mine. Okay, so what do we do with access? We return to sender, right? Well, if it's not yours, return it to sender and start to go, okay, if I was being me, would I be willing to be specific with my asks? Would I be willing to write it down? So Elam, truth, do you love to write? Do you love to get what you want? Wow. Yeah. Ashley says, I'm so different after the foundation class. And, everybody that was in that foundation class, totally different. A lot of you that are on here facilitate foundation. And if you guys have facilitated a foundation, how freaking different is the foundation? It's like a total game changer. The foundation is this amazing platform. And one of the things I wanted to do today with this Facebook Live is to start you to get to think about what it is you want, because the foundation is this class of 4 days. I know Danielle says it's so different, right? It's this class for 4 days. You get to look into the window of your life and go, wow, am I actually creating the life I want to have? Or have I been creating a life that I thought was acceptable, or that I thought my parents wanted me to have, or that I thought my family wanted me to have? The foundation begins to break down all the lies you've been buying. And this particular class and this way and the rewrite that is just happened in April, it's like warp speeds you into being specific with what you want to create in your life. Wow. So Elam says, yes, I sense it's much easier than I may think sometimes. So start to play with the door of ease. Because most of us have been taught that in order to get what we want, in order to have what we want, in order to create what we want, it has to be hard. It has to be challenging. We have to walk uphill both ways, right? Zah says the Global Foundation rewrite from this year was like no other. And this was the first year, you guys, that Gary and Dane decided to throw the manual out and rewrite the manual. Never before have they completely thrown the manual out. They usually throw a couple things out and add a couple things in. This time they threw the whole thing out, and it is totally different. So, but what you can start to do with your ask is you start to get specific. So what if having everything you want in your life could be easy? So I'm curious if you guys are clear or you know what it is you want. And you can write things down that you're okay to share with other people, because some things that you want, you don't necessarily want to share. Why? Because people will throw their points of views onto you, going, well, you can't have that. Well, that's not easy to get. Well, your mother was never able to do that, right? And then you have to fight it. So some things that you want in your life are better kept to yourself. And some things that you want in life are for sharing. So do you actually know what it is you want? Cool. Catherine says, hi, or Christy says, hi, Catherine. I missed your lovely face. So much has changed since the actualization series. For reals, you guys. I did this actualization series. It was 30 days. It was kind of insane. Cindy says, you just keep getting more and more adorable. It's the foundation, darling. It's the tools of access. Every day that I wake up and use these tools, my life gets greater. My body gets happier, right? I get younger most days. Wow. So Elam says, I'm just realizing that I had some asks in life. I got them fulfilled and then ... It's like I'm nervous to have to define new ones. Well, is that nervous yours, or are you completely out creating your reality? Right? So here's one thing that will happen. You guys will ask and ask and ask and ask, and then you'll get what you want. And then you're like, oh no, I can't ask more for what I want. Or you'll try and ask from your old point of view. You'll try and ask from your old life, and then you can't find what it is to ask for. So you have to go, okay, who am I today? And what could I ask for right away? Okay? So, my friends, if you've changed, who are you today, and what can you ask for right away? So, every day we change. Every day. And I give this, right, I give this statistic out. So every 24 hours, check this out, you are not the same person yesterday as you are today. Okay, so 24 hours ago from this moment, in 24 hours, your body has let go of 864 million cells in a 24-hour period. Okay, 864 million cells. Now, each cell has a blueprint and an imprint of thoughts, of feelings, of emotions, of what we think is possible, what we don't think is possible, of nervousness, of fear, of worry, of money. So each cell, 864 million cells in a 24-hour period literally leave your body, and 864 million new cells come into your body. That's a lot of cells. That's a lot of change. And so from 24 hours ago, are you the same person? So when those 864 million new cells come in, guess what? You can give them a new imprint. You can give them a new possibility. You can infuse them with, ooh, who are you today and what can you ask for right away? Right. Jackie says, wow, Katherine, we are an amazing species. My friends, you got that right. So if you are in a place where you're like, I don't think it's possible. Life is hard. I'm struggling. I get it. I get it. Life can be challenging. I'm cute and I make life way harder for me sometimes than it needs to be. And yet I'm also cute and I make life a lot of fun. So this is where every 24 hours, you guys can be instilling yourself and infusing your body and infusing your being with the possibility of something new. So yesterday's complaint or yesterday's limitation or yesterday's lack of, I don't know how to make $1 billion, today that can change. Because all it takes is you every time you remember and every chance you get to start to ask for possibilities, not go for problems. So to start to ask for possibilities, you got to know what you want. Yes. Yes. So Elam says, I like it. So what do you want today? Write it down. And if you guys start to look at, wow, today I want $1 million. Tomorrow, I want $10 million. The next day, I just want to lay on the beach and go swimming and get a massage, right? So start small. If asking for what you want from a bigger picture of the vision of your life feels challenging to you, if you're nervous about it, if you're scared, if you're like, I'm not ready for fame and fortune yet, Katherine, start small. So you wake up tomorrow and you go, all right, body, what do you want today? I want a cheeseburger. I want to go for a run. I want sex. I want to find playmates. I want to go out to dinner. I want to drink alcohol. I want to sleep. I want to write. I want to read. Ask your body, all right, what do you want to do today? What do you want today? And start to write it down. The more that you write your wants down, the more that you'll see the possibilities that your body is asking you to receive. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The more that you write down what you want, the more you will begin to see the possibilities your body wants you to receive. That's a meme, so I'm going to say it one more time, right? The more that you write down what you want, the more you, what is it? The more you, oh shoot, something about the possibilities your body. Oh, crap. Hopefully you guys got it. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, okay. I know, right? I'm so cute. Very blonde. So are you guys willing to start to ask for what you want, right? I really start to ask for what you want. And here's the thing. When you ask for what you want, there is no need to go, oh, but I can't have it. Or, oh, but that's not possible. Oh, that's too hard. Or, oh, that's going to take me forever. Danielle says, oh, see, Zah, you're brilliant. The more you write down what you want, the more you will see the possibilities of what your body yes, is willing to receive. And then the other piece of it, what your body wants you to receive. Yeah, so both read. They're brilliant. Thank you, Zah. You're so good. Okay, so what else is possible, my friends? And are there things in your life that you've decided you don't want? Or are there things in your life you've decided you can't have? What have you decided is impossible to receive? I love it. Elam. Elam's, yeah, baby. Thank you, Elam. So do you guys want to write it down? Do you want to put yourselves under the hot seat? So what is it you've decided is impossible to receive? So anyone think that a great relationship is impossible to receive? Anyone think $1 billion is impossible to receive? Anyone think that it's impossible to receive magic all the time, every day without bad shit happening? Okay? So anyone? Anyone want to put themselves in the hot seat? What have you decided is impossible to receive? Maybe it's kindness. Maybe it's gifts. Anyone decided that it's impossible for someone to gift you $1 million? Yeah. Anyone decide that it's impossible to have 50 orgasms at once? Okay. Anyone decide that it's impossible to receive more kindness than you ever thought possible? Right? Cool. Jackie says yes. Veronica, Kirsty says yes. Maybe I'm just pulling the impossibles. Oh, Elam says it's impossible to receive a private Caribbean island. You guys are saying yes because apparently I'm in your heads. Veronica says, I decided a while ago these are all impossible. The epic relationship and having millions and billions. Well, when you decide, wow, Cindy says, I've decided it's impossible to receive money flowing to me for being magic. Okay, so it's crazy when you guys decide that it's impossible to receive something. Can anyone contribute anything to you? Wow. Vicky says, every time I listen to you, I have to get my bars run. And I just had them run. Awesome. Cindy says she's decided it's impossible to receive aging backwards, just like you, right? Yes. Right. Ooh, Kirsty says it's impossible to receive to be uber successful. Okay. Do you guys notice you're all giving me what you don't like? Actually, you're giving me your wants. So if you were to take the it's impossible to receive off, guess what? Guess what you want? You want to be uber successful. You want to age backwards. You want to, where is it? You want money flowing to you for being magic, right? You want your private Caribbean island. So those of you that are like, I don't know. So Elam, clearly you're lying that you don't know how to write what you want because you just did, right? Jackie says, me too, Vicky, as the bars run. Haha. So this is how you guys can trick yourselves into writing down what it is you want. The question is, what have you decided is impossible to receive? Because each of you are writing down all the things you think are impossible to receive. Are those the things you actually would like to have? And check this out. If you, I'm good at tricking you. If you had them, if, for example, Elam, you created a private Caribbean island, would you know that you were capable of creating anything? Right? Elam says, brilliant, right? So, my friends, this is how this works, is you start to look at, right. So Veronica says, of course I'd love to have it. Okay, so write it down and start asking for it. And then you start to ask, okay, who do I need to be to create that as your reality? Now, all these questions and all these tools are pretty much from the foundation, from Access Consciousness. I know that almost all of you that are on here, not all of you, but a lot of you that are on here have taken a foundation and your life drastically changed because of it. I spent over $200,000 in therapy. I even went to grad school to become a psychologist. And I got to tell you that the information in the foundation and in this 4-day class is a fraction of the cost of what you would spend for this information, right? And it truly is this amazing possibility to start to give you the tools for you to create your life, for you to start to go, wow, what is it I truly want in my life? So Jackie says, cool. I found a gold earring with, I think you were saying diamonds? I found a gold earring with diamonds. Cool. What else can you receive, right? What else can you create? What else can you be? My friends, it is possible to have a life that's ease. It's possible to create your future. Wow. Cool. Kirsty says I was taking your actualization series and COP at the same time. Mind blown. Yeah, right. And Zah says there are no words to describe the amazingness that starts to show up after a foundation class. I know for me, so I told you guys that I was working paycheck to paycheck as a hairdresser. What I didn't tell you is that I totally hated my body. And I probably spent about 10 hours a day worrying about what people thought about my body. Oh my God, could they see like the size of the backs of my legs? And oh my gosh, were they going to notice that cellulite's there? Or, oh, were they going to notice that I didn't, work out today and my stomach's hanging over my jeans? And like I spent 10 hours a day thinking about and obsessing about my body. And after my first foundation, there was a space and a peace in my being around my body. And I went, holy crap. I never thought that I would ever get to a place where I didn't hate my body, where I didn't judge my body. And I remember people being like, well, if you do the tools of access long enough, your body will change and the way you look at your body will change. And I'd be like, you don't know my story. You don't know where I've been, right? And in my head, I was going, I've spent over $200,000 trying to fix my body and I feel more fucked up than I did before, right? And now 6 years later, I'm like that person that I was before taking my first foundation. She's kind of unrecognizable, right? Cindy says the energy kicked me off. Ha ha. You're just potent, my darling. So cool. Vicky says the actualization series was amazing. Listening to it every day. That's awesome. So if anyone wants the actualization series, you can certainly PM me. We'd be happy to let you purchase it. It was truly, truly probably one of the coolest series I've ever done, all about actualizing and what it takes to actualize. And the first step in what it takes to actualize is to get clear on what you want. Second step is to start asking for it, right? And, I have been asking for what would it take to live in a greater world, to create a reality where everyone around me expands my being. And I say to people when they come to my classes, I'm like, you choosing to come to this class expands my reality. It expands my being. And I know for foundation, I'm actually doing a foundation this next week, a week from tomorrow, in my house, actually. We got space for you. We got massage tables. We've got yummy snacks and food. And more than that, we have change. I've got this amazing, I'll show you. I was actually outside. We have a pool, so you can go swimming, right? But we have this amazing open space. This is kind of my favorite part about my house. And I'm just going to show you. Oh, screen, Catherine. So this is kind of my favorite part, is all this open space. And actually yesterday I was on a call with Zah. Look at that. And if you can see it, you might be able to see, no, it's too hazy. But back there are the mountains. And you can't really see them. But I was talking with Zah yesterday, and she was like, what's that sound? I'm like, those are coyotes. So the coyotes come and play. And so we're going to spend a day of bars, if you want to do bars, which is a prerequisite for foundation. We're going to spend 4 days starting on Friday in foundation. And yeah, baby, I know that's my backyard. Isn't it cool? So if you guys want to come play, you are invited for foundation. And if this conversation is lighting you up, go to the accessconsciousness.com website. If you're like, man, I can't make that foundation, but where else? I'm going to be doing a foundation in New York City in December. But find an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. Look up foundation. Go find somebody that's doing the foundation that you resonate with. Not every teacher is the same. Find somebody. The tools will contribute to you, right? Yes, there are facilitators that have been doing this for a long time. I love facilitating this class, and I'm good at it. I'm just going to say that. And sometimes I'm really bad at it, but I love doing it. And so go find somebody on the planet that lives by you that's facilitating a foundation. If this conversation lights you up and you're like, I want more of it. And if this conversation lights you up and you're like, I want to come to Colorado, well, you guys are welcome to come to Colorado. Jump on a plane, get in the car. We're going to create some serious magic next week. I can't wait for it. I adore all of you. New York in December, baby. That's right. December 6th through the 10th. We don't have a venue yet. We'll be posting it shortly. But if you want to come to New York City in December, I will be there because my body likes New York. Surprisingly so. So I go from cow country to New York City. I love you guys. I adore you. You are magic. Keep choosing for you. Keep asking. Keep creating. And whatever it is, whatever you ask for, don't make you wrong. Really, truly, just don't make you wrong, because life's too darn short, and we're only here for a small amount of time, and we got some work to do and change to create on the planet. So my friends, thank you for being here. Thank you for the contribution you be. Go out and be magic, and what else is possible? Bye for now, and see you on the other side. Love you too, Cindy Lynn. Come play in New York City. Woohoo! Bye, my friends.